What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the War Room. My name is Darian. This is a new baseball channel where basically I just want to bring back the flair to baseball. It's a sport I played for 13 years, and I fell out of love with it because I fell in love with other sports. And I stopped playing baseball, but I really love baseball this year. I picked it back up just watching it consistently, and I just realized how much I love it. It makes me want to go back out there. But anyway, I just want to talk about it. So if you're cool with that, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you end up enjoying these videos for whatever reason, make sure you leave a like. But in today's video, I'm just going to keep it simple and just talk about the series you should look forward to this weekend. Now, I'm going to be glancing at my computer on the left here just because I don't know all the series off the top of my head, but I just want to talk about some big series that are coming up because we know the playoffs are coming up. October is in the air, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So the first series I would like to talk about, and I'm just going to bring up all of them as in series you should watch. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Padres versus Nationals, just because I'm going in order here. Padres versus Nationals, it really doesn't matter for the Nationals, but it means everything for the Padres to win. And also Juan Soto and Josh Bell are coming back, but specifically Juan Soto. So I think that's going to be very interesting just to see, Juan Soto. He's gonna try a little harder. We all know that's always how it goes, no matter what sport, is that they always try a little harder. And especially the showman that Juan Soto is, I think that he's just going to put on a little flair. But these games are big. I know they're only playing the Nationals, but these games are big, and the Nationals, are going to rise up as well, just because of the fact that, hey, you traded, you wanted to leave, so let's go, let's play. And I think the Nationals are going to rise up to the occasion. I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but they might take a game. So I just think it's going to be fun baseball. It could get out of hand quickly, but we'll see. Next up is the Guardians, and I almost said the Indians, but the Guardians and Blue Jays. So we all know that they're both in the wild card race. Well, actually, I think the Guardians are now in first place in their division, but it's really close with the Twins, so they could easily lose that spot and then be put back into the wild card. So obviously the Guardians are going to want to win this. But however, if you're the Twins, I think you're going more so for the central title as opposed to going for the wild card. So what you're really hoping is that the Blue Jays just beat up on the Guardians, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. We know that the Blue Jays always get hot at the right time, and lately the Guardians have been getting right at a hot time. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see those two teams play. I'm not going to predict or anything like that, but I think it's going to be very close. I will say, I know I said I wasn't going to predict, but I think the Blue Jays will probably win this one. Next up is the Orioles and Rays. So this is going to be extremely exciting. This is real quick to kind of discuss my fandom. I grew up a Yankees fan just because my dad is born, raised in New York, so he taught me everything about baseball and about how the Yankees are. So, but as I got older, I'm more of a Yankees fan, kind of because that's what I grew up. But really, I really just like any team that's one of them teams that they just have a good story, or they're one of the Moneyball teams, quote unquote. I love that movie. I love that movie to death. So I really like teams like that. So I'm not really like a homer. I root for the Yankees just because that's what I grew up going for. My dad just always talked about the Yankees. We watched Yankees games. We've been to Yankees games. So it's just, that's what it is. But I'm really just a fan of those teams that we have a collection of guys and they all want to play hard and we're going to try to win. That's what I like. And so that is what is going to happen here between the Orioles and the Rays. That I love both of those teams right now just because of the fact that that's how they are. They're we have a collection of guys, not too many superstars, but we have guys who are just going to play hard and they're trying to win. And the Orioles are hot right now. The Rays are kind of, they're kind of dying down, but the Rays are just smart on how they play baseball. The managers are smart on just the manager rather, and the coaches are just smart on just how they handle the pitching situation. I feel like all the pitchers are always ready to go. They don't pitch them long sometimes. I think this is going to be a very interesting series. Brett Phillips is coming back to Tampa, so I think that's going to be cool for him. But yeah, in reality, I just think this is just going to be a great series. I think the Orioles are going to win it just because the Orioles are really hot, but I just really like the Rays. There's something about that organization that I really like. I'm a North Carolina homer, however, so I don't want a team to lose I don't want a city to lose their organization, but if the Rays came to Charlotte, I wouldn't be mad. Next up is Phillies Mets. That's just going to be exciting just because Phillies for the wild card race. The Mets are just being the Mets, and they just want to pull away from Atlanta as much as they can. The Mets are just a really good team. I don't know. I know Jacob deGrom pitched in the Braves series, so I don't think he's going to pitch in this series, but I don't remember for 100%. But anyway, I think it's going to be a great series. The Phillies are a pretty good team. I think they really could make the playoffs. It's just going to be interesting just because of the fact that, I think it's It's the Braves. Well, is it the Braves, Padres, Phillies? I think it's in that order. I don't know. I could look, but I don't want this video to go too long. But anyway, yeah, I think this is just going to be a very interesting series. Of course, just because of the fact that you have the Phillies trying to really solidify their spot in the wild card, and then you have the Mets just being, like I said, being the Mets. We don't care about Tigers, White Sox, Yankees, Boston. And I know I just gave my spiel about like being a Yankees fan, but I don't think if I ever become a true homer of a team, I don't think I will ever. I still won't like the Red Sox. It's just something about them. I just don't like I don't like any of the Boston teams, to be honest. Like any sport, like the Bruins may have my best. They might have my best. Everybody else I don't like at all. But anyway, I think the Yankees are going to take it. The Yankees could easily slump. It is at Fenway Park, so we all know how that goes. And also the Yankees are just slumping right now. They're really struggling. They're really struggling. Like when they hit well, they don't pitch well. When they pitch well, they don't hit well. So it's just very frustrating to watch at times, just because it's like you're really wasting Aaron Judge right now. But I mean, I feel like they're going to pick it up. Those guys, they've been good all year, so I think they're going to pick it up. However, this might not be the time to pick it up, especially in Boston. Next up is Mariners Rangers. So I really just think the Mariners just need to do what they need to do. The Rangers played the Astros pretty tough their last series, but I think the Mariners are going to handle this. They need to handle it. Also because I think they're in the wild. They're definitely in the wild card as well. So they definitely want to hold their spot, because you have the Orioles and Rays beating up on each other, and they're right behind you. And then you have the Blue Jays, who do not have an easy matchup with the Guardians. So the Mariners do need to handle business, and I think they will. But I mean, like I said, the Rangers played the Astros tough last series, so you never know. Next up is just Dodgers, Royals. I just like watching the Royals play. Like last few nights, they've been kind of like the later team, not too late, but the later team. And I watched them. I just like watching the Royals play. They have that small ball type thing going on, where they kind of just like, hit, not too many home runs or grand slams or anything like that. They just dink and dunk, and then they win. So I just kind of like watching them play. And I say win, but obviously the Royals aren't that good, but it's just entertaining to watch them play, especially when like nobody else is on, anything like that. But the Dodgers, they should be able to handle it, because the Dodgers are the Dodgers. And then we have Athletic Astros, who really don't matter that much. And then we have Brewers, Cardinals. I'm definitely going to watch this. So I watched, my first time really watching the Cardinals this year was watching them when they were against the Yankees. And the Cardinals just are a fascinating team. I had a friend, he's a huge Cardinals fan. And so I started watching the Cardinals more and more, in high school when we were hanging out and things like that. And I fell in love with the organization. Like, it's just a smart organization. They're always bringing the right players at the right time. Like, who knew that Albert Pujols would actually be beneficial, considering it's kind of like his world tour out, but he's very beneficial to this team. He's a secret weapon on this team. You still have Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina, who are in their 40s, and they're still doing well. So Paul Goldschmidt, and then Nolan Ariando. I may pronounce his name wrong, my bad. But anyway, that's just an exciting series for sure, because they're fighting for that NL Central spot, and I think the Cardinals are going to take it, because the Brewers just made terrible moves at the trade deadline. But you never know. The Brewers are not a bad team, but they made that terrible trade deadline, and then they lost. I think did they get swept by the Pirates? It was something like that. But anyway, I think it's just going to be really interesting, because that's just going to be a fun series, even though I do expect the Cardinals to take it. D-backs Rockies is D-backs Rockies. Twins Angels. So the Twins, like I said, are definitely going for that AL Central spot, and Angels should be good, but they're not. They're like wasting Mike Trout and Ohtani, whatever. But the Angels sometimes just win, because they are a little more talented than people think. They're a little better than people think. So it could be one of them cases where the Angels take 2 or 3 or whatever, however long this series is. And then lastly is Pirates Giants, which Giants is another team, another organization that I like, but I mean, this really isn't meaning anything. And I like a lot of players on the Pirates. But anyway, this video went a lot longer than I thought. I think that's all this is. I don't know. This is my first video, so I apologize if I'm missing a series or something like that, or I didn't get to talk about your favorite team. That's one thing I really want to do, is be able to really talk about every team, because like I said, I'm a fan of baseball, and like I said, I root for the Yankees, but however, I'm not just like a Yankee homer. I really want to talk about everybody, because baseball is just a fun sport. I like watching it. It's very therapeutic to me, because it's like I get to watch it and I'm like, wow, stakes weren't as high, but I've been in those situations and I know exactly what the player's thinking right now. So it's just, baseball is just a fun sport for me to watch. It's very relaxing. I usually just chill, and kind of watch it. Maybe I'll have the broadcast down, listen to music or something else, or play a game. But whatever, watching baseball is very therapeutic to me, and I hope it is to you. But like I said, I want to bring the flair back to baseball, because I know people are complaining that like baseball is boring, but it's really such a fun sport that I feel like a lot of people are missing out on. Anyway, that does it for this video. Subscribe if you want to watch more of this, and like the video also if you want to watch more of this. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.